Okay.
Om. Om. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Sri Dakshinamurti Sudeshikendram Dvaipayanam Sutrakritam Munindram Sri Shankaram Bhashyakritam Yatindram Maddeshi Kanchapi Namami Vityai. Om Namo Brahma Dibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsa Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyah Sarvopaplavarahita Prajnana Ganaha Pratyagarto Brahmaivahamasmi. Om Prapannaparijataya Totravetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Geetamritaduhe Namaha. Rams everyone. So we are doing the 16th chapter. We are doing the Daivi-Asura-Sampad. In this chapter, Bhagavan is enumerating all the values and virtues that a Daivi Sampad person should possess, or rather the virtues that are considered to be Daivi Sampad. So any spiritual seeker should have these values as a prerequisite, as a condition for spiritual growth, for getting this jnana. He is also enumerating certain other characteristics which are considered to be Asuri Sampad. These characteristics should be avoided. If it is in our personality, we should ensure that it leaves us. So the Daivi and the Asuri gunas are enumerated here. And in the first three shlokas, Bhagavan is enumerating all the Daivi Sampad values. And we are doing the first shloka still. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Dhanam Damascha Yajñascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam. So 9 values are given in this shloka, of which we had already seen 7 of them. We had seen Abhayam, Sattva Samshuddhihi, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi, then we saw Dhanam, then we saw Damaha, then we saw Yajñaha, and then we had also seen Swadhyayam. Abhayam is fearlessness. Sattva Samshuddhihi is pure mind. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi is basically Jnana Yoga, pursuing Jnana Yoga. Dhanam is loosely translated as charity or sharing. Damaha is sense control, sensory discipline. Yajñaha, we saw the Yajñaha to be prarthana or prayer. Although there are several meanings to the word, in this context it is prarthana or prayer. Then Swadhyaya is basically, we saw, again there are a couple of meanings for this. Swadhyaya is Arthagrahanam, basically reading, understanding the scriptures. And this Swadhyaya is nothing but Rishi Yajna of the Panchamaha-yajnas. So we have done 7 of those values. Now we will move to the next value that Bhagavan has mentioned here, which is Tapah. Tapah, in the meaning of the word Tapah is, if we see the literal meaning, it is called melting. In Tamil we say Urugudal. Tapaha means melting. So what is being melted here? We have to melt ourselves here. And generally, where is melting used? If you really see, melting is normally used when we have to change. For example, we have to melt things like gold to change from one ornament to another ornament. So that is where melting is used. So melting is basically changing, is used for changing. Let us try to understand this tapaha a little more deeper. We have heard of this value already, sattva samshuddhihi. In the same sloka, the first line, Bhagavan has said sattva samshuddhihi, which we said it means clean mind. And when we say clean mind or pure mind, it means that we need to have all the good values or virtues that are mentioned in this chapter as well as in the earlier 13th chapter we did. And to attain all these good values, we will have to do sadhanas. How do we attain? It doesn't come on its own. We will have to do some sadhana for attaining these values. And attaining these values are not easy. Attaining any good value is not an easy task. Attaining a bad guna, a bad character, it is very easy. To attain a bad guna, what do we need to do? We don't need to do anything. It just comes automatically. The people around us will help us to actually develop those bad habits quickly. We don't need to take any effort for that. But attaining good values is not that easy. And to attain these values, there are a multitude of sadhanas that we have to do. So we can use a general term to call all these sadhanas that are required for us to attain these good values. And that general term to call all these sadhanas, we can call that word to be tapaha. Tapaha. So tapaha does not refer to one sadhana here. Tapaha refers to sadhanas that will help us to develop or cultivate good values. So what happens by doing tapaha? This tapas, this changes our mind. It changes our mental makeup. It changes from one personality to another personality. So this tapaha changes us. So this tapaha changes us from an angry person to a calm person, from a jealous person to a giving person, from an unforgiving person to a forgiving person, from an impatient person to a calm person. So all these changes happen because of tapaha. Some people may be told by doctors, that you have to reduce weight. And if we have to reduce weight, we will have to burn fat. And it is not that easy. It takes continuous, rigorous exercise, including diet control, to reduce weight. And even after we have reduced weight, we'll have to be careful that it does not come back again. So for changing the stula sharira, for changing this physical body, if even for changing this physical body which we have picked up only in this birth, this stula sharira is picked up only in this birth. the previous Janma, we did not have this body. In the next Janma, we will not have this body. So this body, which we have only picked up in the last 50, 60, 40, whatever years, if changing this physical body itself is so difficult, then how difficult it will be to change our Sukshma Sharira, our subtle body, the mind, which we have been carrying it for millions of births. Sukshma Sharira doesn't change. The mind is the same throughout. We can only change it. So, and changing the mind is not easy, because these values are attitudinal changes. It's not gross changes that can be seen by others. These are only felt by ourselves. So the sadhanas which changes our personality from bad to good, it can be called as Tapah. So that will be the definition of Tapah. In general, we can say the sadhanas which change our personality from bad to good. It's called Tapah. Because only after getting these good values, we will be able to do vichara, and only with the vichara that we do, Vedanta vichara, Atma vichara, we will get to know the truth. And once we know the truth, there is no more sadness, there is no more sorrow, there is no more samsara. So the question is, we have to change. If someone else, and why should we change? If someone is destroying us, if someone else is destroying us, is someone else is fighting against, if there is an enemy for us and we cannot, that enemy is, we can actually fight against that enemy. That is not an issue. We can fight against others, external sources around, people around us or issues around us. We can fight and win them. But if there is something within us which is going to which is bringing us down, because it is kind of self-destroying, then the issue becomes even more difficult. And that is a problem that we face. Our issues or our enemies are not outside. Our problems or our issues are within ourselves, within our mind. The krodha that we have, the anger that we have built. Some people take pride in their anger. They say, if I get angry, I don't know what I will do. The anger or the delusion, the moha that we have, or the lobha, the greed that we have, which we don't even realize we have. These are the problems these are our biggest enemies. And what we have to do now? We have to fight against these bad qualities, and we will have to change ourselves. Because this anger, this hatred, whatever we have, this is not that we may have it on others, but it will first destroy us. Whether the anger or hatred will destroy the other people, we do not know. We think that we will be able to do something for the other person also, but we cannot be sure. But definitely one thing is for sure, it will bring us down. So destroying or removing this character, this bad character that is actually internally fighting against us, this sadhana is called as tapah. Tapah can also mean a couple of things. Tapah in general, there are two aspects to it. One is sometimes when we have to endure the difficulties, when we accept the difficulties, whatever we get, that is also called as tapas. So tapas can be one, where we are able to endure difficulty. Two, not giving any difficulty to others is also a tapas. That is even bigger tapas. A tapas in which we are not able to, we do not give any difficulty or any issue or pain or sorrow to the other person. This is the meaning of tapas. Actually, this is the definition of tapas by Valluvar in Tirukkural. But what happens? We do the opposite. For us, it is easy for us to give difficulty to others. We give pain, sorrow, whatever. We give difficulty to others. And at the same time, we are not able to withstand any difficulty we get. The smallest change in the situation around us will create problems for us. It will create stress for us. So we are not able to accept the difficulties that we are in or we get, and at the same time we are not able to stop giving difficulty to others. If we look closely, generally speaking, if we realize all the activities that we do are all about escaping pain. Whatever we do is all about escaping pain. The entire humankind development in all this science and technology, this medicine, whatever, all this development is only for this purpose. How can we avoid pain? How can we escape pain? The comforts that we have got, the air conditioners, the mattresses, all those things, the shoes, everything is about how can we escape pain? How can we avoid pain? But what is tapaha? Tapaha actually means the opposite. Tapaha means voluntarily seeking pain. And why should somebody seek pain? Because a short-term pain will give us a long-term higher benefit. So tapas is about seeking pain. But even if we are not able to, if we are not in a position to seek pain and voluntarily get into a painful situation, at least we should be able to endure whatever difficulties or pain that comes to us. We should not be complaining, we should not be criticizing, we should not get angry, we should not feel sorrow. We should be able to endure them. This tapas is again another yajna, dana, tapas. These three are very important values or virtues. Bhagavan is going to spend another chapter on all these things. We will see that in the 17th chapter again, where Bhagavan will talk about tapas in totally different dimensions. He will talk about kayika tapas, vachika tapas, manasa tapas. And he will also differentiate or sort of give another dimension in terms of tapas itself. What is the sattvic tapas, what is the rajasa tapas, and what is the tamasic tapas. So that we will see it in the 17th chapter. But general, what should tapas be like? If somebody asks, what should tapas be like? So the Upanishads say a person should have more strength, be it physical or mental, after doing tapas. So if I say I have done tapas, then after doing the tapas, I should get this feeling that I am physically stronger or mentally stronger than what I was before doing this tapas. So the tapas should not be in such as I should not do tapas and say after doing tapas I am actually weak, or a tapas should not torture a person. Tapas is not for torturing ourselves. Tapas is for building the endurance. It is for building the mental and physical endurance. Another Sampradaya Guru actually defines tapas. He defines tapas as nothing but doing our duty properly. He says doing your duty properly itself is tapas. Then our question will come, what is duty then? What is our duty? We have already seen this in the introduction to Vedanta, but I'll just quickly go through. So different Shastras have prescribed duties for different phases of life. For each of the ashrama, we have duties. So for a brahmacharya ashrama, which is the student life, studying and living simply is the duty. In the sense, not seeking any enjoyment or not seeking comfort is the duty of a brahmacharya. So at the student life, the student or the individual should not seek any comforts or should not seek for any pleasures. There used to be a story where a student went to a Gurukula, and then when food was served, after so many years, he had been studying in the Gurukula, and then suddenly he felt that I could taste some castor oil in the food today. The Guru said, okay, your teachings are over. Basically, you have now started feeling the taste of the food now. So normally until the student life, throughout the student life, a person should not seek or enjoyment or comfort and should be focused only on studying and living simply. Because once the person starts seeking tastes in life, comforts in life, the thirst for knowledge will be compromised. So that is how Shastras mention. Shastras say. Then as a Grihastha, the next stage, it is about all yearning, but yearning without any lobham, yearning without any greed. The life should be a life of prayerful life, a thankful life, life full of gratitude. As a grahastha, the person can seek comforts, but without getting addicted to any of the bhoga vastus. So can seek dharmic comforts, dharmic pleasures without getting addicted to it. But it should be done all with a sense of gratitude, with a sense of prayer, with a sense of non-greediness. So that is Grihastha. Then in the Vanaprastha stage, the Vak Tapaha comes to the fore. Once at the age of retirement or immediately after retirement, Maunam and Vratam becomes very important. Fasting as well as keeping our mouths silent, shut. Or in other words, restricting the mouth, basically both from a speech standpoint as well as from a taste standpoint. Restricting our speech and tongue. This is the primary responsibility, duty, tapas at the Vanaprastha stage. Then if you look at the final stage, which is sannyasa, sannyasa is all about samaha and damaha. Samaha and damaha, we have seen it. Samaha is basically Shamaha is mind control, Damaha is sense control. And this is the ultimate tapas, where we are able to use the sense organs only for transaction. We had already seen Damaha earlier, using the sense organs only for transaction and keeping the mind in control, mind calm. So as you see, if you can see, the Shastras have actually prescribed a lifestyle for us which prepares us in stages. Slowly prepares us and shows us the path to attain moksha. And the path to moksha is in a gradual manner. But what happens? We don't follow. We like to be led by our desires. So we just go with whatever our mind says. But what is tapas according to this Sampradaya Guru? He says, what is tapas? Just do your duty that has been prescribed for you at that stage. That is Tapah, another definition we saw. Another Lakshana given in Shastras for tapas is, it says, Sarvartha Sadhakam. Sarvartha Sadhakam means, firstly it says that whatever one wants to achieve, whatever you want to achieve, the sadhanas that is needed is tapas. So, any kind of sadhana to reach a sadhyam is tapas. For example, for a Vedantic student, Chitta Shuddhi and good values is tapas. Even if we are looking at a non-Vedantic student, for example, for anything in life, a person needs to do tapas to achieve something in life. So tapas can mean something like hard work or effort, we can say. For anything to be enjoyed, one has to do some bit of tapas before that. If you look at any of the sports persons, for them, if they have achieved the pinnacle in sports, they would have done a lot of hard work, training before that. Those are all their tapas for them. The sadhanas that have led them to achieve a higher purpose. Even if we are addicted to something, for example, today we are addicted to, say, social media or any of this Netflix of kinds of things, if we are addicted to it, even for us to get de-addicted to it, it requires tapas. So tapas is very difficult. And Taittiriya Upanishad talks highly of tapas. It says for both Preyas and Shreyas. What is Preyas? Preyas is basically Dharmartha Kama. And Shreyas is Moksha. For both Preyas and Shreyas, one needs to do a lot of tapas. Tapas is basically put in a lot of effort and hard work. Question is, how do we start tapas? What are tapahu upaya kim? So to start tapas, to be able to do tapas, we need to have some bit of tapas already. Or rather, we need to have some bit of strength to do tapas. For example, if I decide to do some kind of vrata, take vrata, say Somavara vrata, Chaturthi vrata, Ekadasi vrata, I decide to take some vrata, I need to have strength in my body. So to be able to do some tapas, I need to have some strength. That is another some bit of tapas already I should have. And when I talk about this vrata, this Somavara vrata, Chaturthi vrata, Ekadasi vrata, this This is an important, fasting is an important vrata. Having this feeling of hunger in the stomach is actually good for us. A slight bit of hunger is always necessary. A person who has been able to practice being hungry, that person can get his intellect to work better. Some subtle things in this world can be only understood better only when the body is a little bit starving. That's why some tapasvis always keep their body half hungry. As they say, only when the Madhya Pradesh is a little bit empty, the Uttar Pradesh will start working. So, but remember, when we have to start tapas, we need to know our strength. We can do only when there is strength in body. So if somebody wants to practice some kind of vrata, it is very difficult to start at the age of 60 or 70. Because at that point of time, the body will have already some conditions. The body will not cooperate. So if we have to start any vratas, we'll have to start when we are young. And generally, we don't want to keep the stomach hungry at all. So even before hunger strikes us, we strike the food. So we claim that we have to eat on time. We give some reason or other to actually to feed ourselves more and more. So tapas is all about, as I said, sadhanas. This vrata is an important tapas. And for us to do the tapas, we'll have to have some bit of strength, physical or mental, to be able to do this tapas. And the earlier we start the tapas, the better for us. Do not leave everything to old age. Some people think, oh, that is only for after 60 when we are retired. This is only for old people, not for young people like us. Say at old age, the body will not cooperate. The mind will not cooperate. We will not be able to practice. We will not be able to do tapas. The strength of mind when we are young, the strength of mind is exceptional. When we are young, we wouldn't mind being alone at home. We would be looking for people to live and let us live in peace. But as we grow older, we will seek company. We will not be able to live alone. Because the strength of the mind has weakened. As we grow older, the dependence grows. Physical dependence grows. Emotional dependence grows. So, if we have to start practicing being alone, we'll have to start doing it when we are young itself. When we are physically fit, we'll have to start doing tapas. And remember, whether it is a physical tapas or mental tapas, the strength of the mind is important. So tapah is required for tapah. Strength is a need. But as I said, we have to first physically validate whether this is something that we will be able to do it before we embark on it. So if before things to note, number one, what we are capable of, only that we should do. We should not start any tapas which can result in a failure. Suppose I decide, until today I have been having food 4 or 5 meals a day, and suddenly I say Nirjala Ekadashi Vratam. It is definitely going to be a failure. And what will the failure do? That will demoralize us also. So we should not stretch ourselves. We should understand what is our possibility and slowly increase the strength of tapas. So voluntarily seeking pain, voluntarily doing some sadhana is tapas. The second thing, as I said, one of the other definitions is basically whatever painful situations, whatever difficult situations we go through, consider that to be tapas. We don't need to we in fact, we don't even need to go and voluntarily do tapas. The biggest tapas that one can do is whenever we are experiencing any painful situation, whenever we are experiencing, and that could be anything, somebody speaking ill of us, somebody actually not giving us food on time, somebody making us wait, somebody actually it could be self-inflicted, or it could be because of somebody else or the situation, whatever it is. Do not get angry, do not get upset, do not get stressed. Instead, convert them and say, it is my tapas. If we are able to shift our attitude, that itself is the biggest tapas. We don't need to go to the Himalayas, stand on one leg and do tapas like all the asuras did. They had enormous amount of mental and physical strength to do those things. For us, the easiest tapas and the best tapas is about whatever difficult situations coming in our way, accept them, endure them, do not complain, do not blame others. Accept them and say, it is my tapas. That itself will be a great sadhana for us to spiritually progress. If we are rich, giving dhanam to the needy will be a tapas. If we are poor, we don't have anything to share or give, doesn't matter, don't complain. Living simply, okay, I'm living simply, I don't have the comforts, I don't have the riches. Don't compare, feel jealous or feel bad, don't have the self-pity. Instead, convert that simple living to be tapas. So whatever situation life throws up, accept that. Accept that without grumbling, without complaining. That itself is tapas. Of course, if we have healthy body, we should start doing some physical tapas also. But if the body has got an ailment, it has got a disease, I've got sugar, I've got some BP, all those things, then we should not venture anything very strict regimens for that. In fact, some Nayanmars, when disease struck them, they sung Bhagavan's praise and said, it was Bhagavan Ishvara himself who had come in this body in the form of a disease. That is how they were able to convert. It's all an attitude change. So the beauty of this tapas is, whoever decides that I'm going to convert my life into a life of tapas, whoever they say, you will see a marked change in our approach, in our overall contentment, in our overall happiness. We'll have calm, we'll become calm, we'll become confident, we'll become cheerful. And that will be reflected in the way we deal with people and the way others see us as well. So Tapah is about converting our difficult situations into a sadhana. Remember, what is sorrow? Sorrow is nothing but a difficult or painful situation which is not accepted. If I do not accept it, it becomes sorrow. If I accept it, it becomes tapas. So the choice is with us, whether to convert any difficult or painful situation into a sorrow or a tapas. It is like either I am fasting or I've been not given enough food. I am starving. If I am starving, I am unhappy. If I am fasting, I feel good. It's just an attitude change. The situation is the same. I have been denied food. The choice is mine whether to convert that into a sorrowful situation or a tapas. And that can be converted to everything. So any kind of difficult situation, any failure that I face in life, any kind of humiliation, some people speak bad of me, any physical pain that I go through, everything can become tapas. In fact, we do not look for anything new tapas at all. And Shastras also, what they do is, they have given multiple places, multiple opportunities for us to do tapas. For example, when they say all this Deva-Yajna, whatever we do, suppose we say Pada Yatra, going to temples, fasting, Mauna Vrata, reading the Shastras, listening to Shastras 1 hour every Sunday is also painful sometimes for some people. All this can be considered as tapas. If only we have the objective saying, okay, my objective is to actually get good values. And I do this. So, in fact, in those days, all those Padayatras and others were all given as a way to build endurance physically as well as mentally. So all these vratas were all given, all these padayatras, all things were the Chardam Yatra, whatever. Nowadays we travel, we would like to travel in comfort. So even if you want to do any kind of yatra, we make sure there are AC coaches, AC rooms, air-conditioned rooms, and 3 times meal, everything. All those things, we ensure that these are in place before we embark on these yatras. But in those days, those yatras were all meant to be tapas. Anyway, as I said, we don't need to seek any new tapas. As long as we are able to convert our difficult situation, failures, painful situations, humiliations, whatever others say about us, in front of us, behind us, whatever it be the case, if we are able to convert them into tapas, that itself will be good. If you still want to do some kind of sadhana to start with, say I want to do some new tapas, then the best one is to start with karma yoga. We have this Panchamahayajnas, Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi, start with that. And tapas, question is what is the benefit? As I said, the biggest benefit that we will feel is that we are getting calmer, confident and cheerful. But it also has got, so there is also main benefit and side benefits. The avantara benefit, the side benefit could be like, by doing all these tapas, by being calm, cheerful and confident and all those things, our fame will go up. People around us will start liking us more. We could get money, we could get new relations, doesn't matter. These are all avantara benefit. But the biggest benefit for us would be vairagya. We will be building our vairagya more and more. When we decide to take up some pain, when we decide to do some tapas, some pleasure will come right in front of us. And we will be in a position to say no to it. We will be in a position to do tyaga on that. Without any kind of resistance. When we are able to say this no, we have been able to achieve the mukhya palam, which is basically vairagya. So this is tapas. The next one is, the next value that Bhagavan talks about is arjavam. Arjavam is the 9th virtue, the last virtue in this sloka. And Arjavam, again, we had seen it already in the chapter 13 discussion. Will not go into detail. I'm going to just quickly go through it. Arjavam means straightforwardness. And what is straightforwardness? Basically, when my mind, words, and my deeds, mano, vak, kayam, they are being aligned, then it is called as Arjavam. My thinking, my thoughts, my words, and my action, they should be straight. This is called as Arjavam. The opposite of it is if they are misaligned, it is called as Vakram. We say that person is a Vakra Buddhi fellow, which means his words do not match with the action, or words do not match with the thoughts, whatever be the case. But generally speaking, what do? In Vyavahara, in all the transactions, we think something, we say something else, and then we do completely something else totally. This is the issue of not having Arjavam. And that means we have a split personality. And whenever we have split personality, it means we could have multiple personalities within us, and each personality tries to become a master. And there is only one I, one servant. So the problem is there will be multiple masters, and we will be constantly, our mind will be in a turmoil. Not to know what to say, what to do, what to act. And this will result in what? What is the problem of not having Arjavam? We will lose self-confidence. Because we all know that I will not, what I think is not what I say. So I myself know that. And when I say something, I don't know whether I'll be able to do it or not also. So I lose this confidence on myself. I will lose the enthusiasm to do things. Even if others try to enthuse me, they try to actually motivate me, I will not feel that. I will not feel motivated. So what should we do? We should start thinking only about good things. Because the problem is, a lot of things when it comes into our mind, we are not able to say it out. I do not like this person. How can I say that in front of him, this person? It's a problem. And if I don't like this person, and if I cannot say that in front of this person, then it becomes like a split personality. So the best thing is, instead of saying, I will say to this person that he is a bad person, I do not like you, I should start looking into how I can change my attitude towards this person. Whenever I see this person, there could be something good in him. Should I just try to recollect only the good things? Start thinking about only the good things in life so that you are able to say those things. And that's one way to actually bring some Arjavam. The second thing is, do not give any loose words. Say only things that can be done. And once you've said, do it according to what you've said. So that way we will be able to streamline our personality, bring some discipline into our thoughts, words, and action. And we will see that again, our confidence will go up. As I said, Arjavam we have discussed in the earlier class also. One of the earlier classes, so you can refer to that. So Arjavam. So now we have seen about 9 values of Daiv-Asura-Sampad. Bhagavan is given in the first sloka. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. Fearlessness, no deception or pure mind, being in Jnana Yoga. Then Dhanam. Dhanam is about sharing with others. As I said, this is our biggest problem. Humankind's biggest problem is Lobham. So we have to overcome that greed, inherent greed is there in all of us. And dhanam is about getting freedom from this lobham. And then damaha, which is sense control. Then we saw dhanam, damascha. Damaha is about damaha is sense control. Dhanam, damascha, yajnascha. Yajna is about, we saw as prayer, worship, whatever. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is memorizing and reading the Shastras daily. And then tapas. Tapas is about converting all sadhanas, doing all sadhanas to get rid of Asuri-Sampad, or at least ensuring converting all the difficult situations into sadhanas, spiritual sadhanas. Then arjavam. Arjavam is straightforwardness. So we have completed 9 sadhanas. Now we will go to the next shloka. Ahimsa satyam-akrodha tyagah-shantirapayishunam daya-bhuteshvalo-luptam mardavam hrira-chapalam. Ahimsa satyam-akrodha tyagah-shantirapayishunam daya-bhuteshvalo-luptam mardavam hrira-chapalam. So here Bhagavan is giving another 11 values. So total he is going to give 26 values. We have already seen 9. Another 11 he is going to give in this shloka. Again we will see some repetitions here also. So we will, wherever we had seen things already, we will go a little faster. The 10th value, the first value in this shloka is ahimsa. We had seen this again. We had seen this in chapter 13 already, so we will not go into much detail. Himsa means hurting others, and hurting can happen through, we can hurt through thoughts, words or action. Again, mano va kaya. Some of us, we curse others in our mind, or we pray for the failure. Let him get hurt, let him get hit. Or we even pray to Ishvara saying that give him some problem. This is all considered to be himsa. And every himsa that we do results in papa. And every papa will have its own effect on ourselves, on us. Some people even do some kind of puja, they do some homa, yaga for this. Some people even get to the stage of black magic, doing black magic. These are all wrong. This is all considered to be himsa, and every action, even if it is a thought, has got its effect, papa or punya. And in case of himsa, it will always be papa. So what happens in childhood, when we are children, when we are kids, the himsa will be more physical. So we will try to hit others, we will try to bully others. Then as we grow older, what happens is we use our mouth. We become more efficient in making it subtle, but we will use our words to harm others, words to hurt others. And we will use the right opportunity, right choice of words so that they feel hurt. We will take pride in that also. So this is again another form of hurt, himsa. But what happens after some time? After some time, we become, or we want to be seen as nice. So what we do? We do not use our words to hurt others, but in the mind, within our mind, in our thoughts, we curse them. And we pray, even to the extent of praying to Bhagavan to give them some misfortune. All these are himsa only. And ahimsa is considered to be a mahavratam. It is an important virtue. When we do himsa to others, things like dvesham, impatience, revenge, all these things comes. Not able to forgive him, all this comes. We've done a long discussion on himsa earlier, so you can refer that. So thing is, we have to overcome himsa. And listen, Bhagavan is actually talked about himsa already in 13th chapter. He's again doing it in 16 because he sees this as an important virtue. It is one of the samanya dharma. Ahimsa is a samanya dharma. It's called a mahavrata. If a person is not able to follow ahimsa, it's going to be difficult. So whatever himsa we do in whatever form, it will be paid back in the same coin. Whatever himsa we do, whether it is in thoughts, words or action, it will be paid back in the same coin. The only question is whether it is going to happen in the same janma or different or in one of the subsequent janmas, we don't know. Whatever we give to the world, it will come back to us. So if we don't want others to hurt us, we should not hurt anyone. I should not hurt anyone. It includes I should not hurt myself also. And remember, whenever somebody is hurting us and we think there is no reason behind it, the best way to actually classify them is, okay, I've done some papa in my previous janma, it is now getting exhausted. So try to overcome that. Okay. So subsequent values, Satyam is a big value. The next value is Satyam. This is a big value. We will see it in the next class. We will go a little bit more detail on Satyam. Any questions or comments? If someone hits you, then is it okay to hit back? No. Himsa for your protection or for protecting someone is also bad. I don't understand when there will be a situation where you have to do himsa to protect your others, protect yourself. We are not in the war front. If there is for a soldier, I can understand. He is in the war front and he has to kill somebody because he has to protect himself. But I don't understand where would be a situation where I have to protect myself, and for protecting myself, I will have to hurt someone. Mother hitting child is also himsa. Mother or father disciplining a child can come in various forms. We will even talk about it in one of the subsequent classes, I believe. Disciplining is not about doing himsa. Himsa is about where I am trying. The idea behind himsa is the attitude. The attitude that I have when I do himsa is I want to hurt the other person. A mother or a father disciplining a child is not about hurting the other person. It is about bringing forth some discipline. And generally speaking, we can do disciplining without physically embarking on things. When you need to protect yourself, whether you can do, when somebody is trying to, so initially you try to avoid that situation, initially you try to get away from it, then you try to block, you follow samadhana bedata danda. Yeah, so that is about this. I probably there are certain things that probably very subjective. We can give an answer. We cannot give an answer from which can be universal here. So depending on the situation, but generally speaking, as I said, we are not in a position, or we are not, at least for us, we are not there where we are physically being threatened by people around us, generally speaking. But if there is the case, then we'll have to do it subjectively. We have to see. I'm not in a position to give any answer which is universal. Okay. Hari Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha. Gobrahmanebhyo Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Hari Om.
Hari Om.